We're going to be looking at graphing linear equations in y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b is actually known as slope-intercept form because if you notice, the m is the slope, the b is the y-intercept. You will always see that the m is rise over run, or the change in y over the change in x. And our intercept is always going to be written as 0, comma, some number, because you want it to intercept the y-axis. So the steps to take when solving or graphing linear equations is you first want to rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. You then want to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So slope is m, y-intercept is b. The third step is you always want to plot the y-intercept first. And then step 4, you use the slope to plot additional points starting from the y-intercept. So we're going to look at this first one, and we're going to look at this equation. So if you notice, this is not in y equals mx plus b, so we want to solve for y. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract x on both sides. So I get 2y equals negative x plus 4. I'm now trying to get y by itself, so I want to divide by 2, and you want to make sure you divide each term by 2. So I get y equals, now it's a negative x, which is really a negative 1 over 2, which is negative 1/2 x, and then 4 divided by 2 is going to give me a plus 2. So I now have my equation in y equals mx plus b. So step 2, they want me to identify the slope and y-intercept. So my slope, looking at this equation, is negative 1/2. It's always the number in front of the variable. Then I have my b, which is going to be written as, so you see that it's 2. It's always going to be written as 0, comma 2, because we want it to intersect or intercept the y-axis. So we're now going to go to the third step, which is plot the y-intercept. So our y-intercept is 0, comma 2. So we want to make sure this is our y-axis, this is our x-axis. You are going to plot at 0, comma 2. So we're going to go up 2 on the y-axis, plot our first point. Then from there, we have to use the slope to plot the rest of our points. So you can go whichever way, but we know it's a negative, so we know our graph is going to be facing this way. But in this case, I'm going to go down 1, to the right 2, 1, 2. I'm going to keep going down 1, to the right 2, because I'm going at a constant rate. Down 1, to the right 2, down 1, to the right 2. I also can go back to my y-intercept and go up 1 to the right, up 1 to the left 2, up 1 to the left 2. Because if you notice, it's a negative, so I'm still making it negative. Up 1 to the left 2, up 1 to the left 2. Now to make a line, you really only need 2 points, but I'm just showing you the process. So when you're done, you're going to connect your line. Make sure you draw arrows because the line keeps going. And remember, slope is at a constant rate. Now, for some more practice, you want to look at the slope and intercept practice booklet. So we're going to follow the same steps. So let's look at our first one. So we have y equals 2x plus 3. We want to identify our slope, which is 2. We want to find our y-intercept, which is 3, but we're going to write it as 0, comma 3. We always want to first plot our y-intercept, so at 0, 3. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. Plot our first point. Then our slope, remember it's 2, but it's really saying it's 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1. Down 2 to the left 1. That's still making it positive. Down 2 to the left 1. Down 2 to the left 1. And then there is my graph. Notice that it is positive and it matches because my slope is positive. Another example we have is y equals 1/2 x plus 3. So you notice that my slope is 1/2 because it's my m. My y-intercept is going to be written as 0, 3 because it intersects or intercepts the y-axis. So I'm going to go up 3. So I go 1, 2, 3. Plot my first point. So I'm going to go, it's a positive slope, so I'm going to go up 1 to the right 2. I also could go down 1 into the right 2, down 1 into the right, or sorry, down 1 into the left 2, down 1 into the left 2, and then I can draw a line through my graph. Another example, just for you to get the hang of it, we have y equals 3x plus 1. So it is in slope-intercept form, so you're good. So my slope is 3. My intercept is 0, 1. So I'm going to start at 0, 1. I'm going to rise 3. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and go to the right 1. I'm going to go back to my y-intercept. I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and go to the left 1, which made it positive again. Down 3 to the left 1, and then there's my graph. Another example, so we have y equals negative 2x minus 2. It is in y-intercept form, so we can find our slope, which is negative 2. We have our y-intercept, which is 0, now that negative is going to go with the 2, so we got negative 2. So what that means is we're going to go down 2, plot our points. Now we want to use our slope, which is a negative, so we're going to go down 2 to the right 1. Up 2 into the left 1, which makes it negative. Up 2 into the left 1. Then I can take my line, draw my arrows at the end because it's still constant rate. It's going to keep going. And if you notice, my graph is facing negative, so it is a negative 2. It is a negative slope. Okay, we got 2 more examples. So this one, our equation is not in y equals mx plus b, so we want to get it in there. So we have negative 2x on both sides. We want to get y by itself. So we're going to have y equals negative 2x plus 3. My slope, or my m, is going to be negative 2. My y-intercept, or my b, is going to be 0, 3, because it's a positive 3. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I have a negative 2 slope, so I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1. I also could go up 2 into the left 1. That would still make it negative. You could keep going or you could stop. So we draw my line, and then it's complete. Our last example, we want to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides. We cannot combine these together because they're not like terms. So I'm going to get y equals negative 4x plus 2. So my slope is negative 4. My y-intercept is 0, 2. Okay, I'm going to plot my first point at 0, 2. So I'm going to go up 2. My slope is a negative 4, so I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the right 1. I also could go up 1, 2, 3, 4, but it doesn't fit on my graph, into the left 1. So in this case, you have 2 points and it makes a line. So you can graph, draw your arrows. You notice it's a negative slope, so it's facing negative. And then we are complete.